Apologize for that. We will, let's do this again.
Okay, we need to record again. It's up.
Yeah, it's on. It's on. We're good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
This one more time here. So you go to the Mac Center, you click on Update Profile. When you click on Update Profile, the page is going to open up where on the left-hand side, you're going to see your professional details. And that's the one you want to click on. When you click on the professional details, you have one of the concerns is here's the office areas, right? And each one of those may be a little different for the different offices, but here's the additional service areas. And that's part of the reason for this today is so that you know that those are in there. And what you need to do is you need to add your service areas. Do not duplicate what the office already has. And you do not need to duplicate the service areas down here. So for example, if I wanted to add something, I just click on the add button. It was there at the bottom. And then I can type in that area. And I had an area in here, so I took it out so that I can show you this morning what it looks like to do that. And just click on save. And that this is in remax.net, right? So this is designed for other people to be able to find you. That's what it's designed for. So on the global network or the Remax referral network, that's where this comes into play. And we want to make sure that we have this identified on there. So once again, you should not, it's recommended you do not duplicate what the office already has, and that you do not have more than, that you do not have an area more than once in here. It doesn't help you in any way. So spread that out a little bit and make sure there's service areas that you can work with. Any questions on that part? Now, while you're in here, there's some other things you can take a look at. Like, for example, you might want to look at your contact information and make sure that's up to date. That's where your websites, social media sites are. Every one of your social media sites should probably be on here. If some of you are really great with social media, you might want to have something on here for it, because that'll carry over to your Remax profile for the referrals and et cetera as well. And then you also have your professional details. Your personal details, which is your bio, your civic activities, hobbies, and et cetera. You want to make sure all this information is up to date. If somebody goes into the referral network to try to find you, and I've shared with you guys, I've done this with our son who's moving to Ohio, and I researched agents based on this information. And the first agent that I had selected that I thought would be good for him was one that had the MRP designation and experience in a former military and all this stuff. Turned out to be a flop, but I found them because of the information they had in here. And that's why I'm telling you, your information, some of you are really involved in civic activities, list those items, because people use that to make decisions. So the more you have in here, the better off you are. Any questions on this one? And again, you don't have to click on save or anything there. It automatically saves. So you're good to go. Once you're finished with this part of it, so you have basically three areas that you need to look at here. One of them being, the first one being the professional details, personal details, and then contact information are the three that you need to take a look at. On the upper right-hand corner, because this all saves by itself, on the upper right-hand corner, click on Return to Mac Center. And when you go back to the Mac Center, what you want to do is you want to go up here to the upper, that blue bar across the top where it says website, click on website. That's one of the places. Like anything else in technology, there's 2 or 3 different ways to do that. But if you click on the website, that'll take us into the website. When that opens up, once again, we're going to go to the right-hand side where your photo is and click on settings. So click on your photo, and then a little box opens up, click on settings. Then you go over here to the left-hand side, click on setting pages. On the left-hand side, you want to click on contacts and leads. When you click on contacts and leads, from there, what we want to do is we want to take a look at notifications. We want to make sure that all these boxes are checked. So what this amounts to is how are you going to get notified of leads? How are you going to get notified that somebody's looking at a property and wants some help with it? And in my opinion, every one of these ought to be marked. That's just my opinion. Text message is really important. That's what I get. I get a lot of text messages saying, here's a new lead. In fact, I've received one this morning already. And I usually just get them and decline them real quick. If you don't decline them, they will go away. You have a 15-minute time limit on them, unless they've selected you as the preferred buyer's agent, which is this right here. And then of course it'll stay with you, or you're the listing agent. It'll stay with you a longer time period. But I would highlight every one of those. So again, we went to the settings page. We went to the settings page, clicked on contacts and leads. And then from there, we clicked on notifications, which is this page right here. Any questions on that one? So then down at the bottom right here where it says offered leads, this is the other big one. This is the one where leads come from. So the other ones for referrals and Remax.net, Remax.com, that site for them to find you, right? This is to find you with properties and et cetera. And there's two different systems, if you will, or at least that's the way I understand it. Here you want some zip codes. You can only have 10, but and you don't need to duplicate them. You can have up to 10 zip codes. Is there a rule on this as far as the area you serve? I was speaking with an agent yesterday about that, who's kind of relocating. Not yet, but is, right? And she said, is it okay if I plug in that zip code on the Remax site because I'm trying to build business there? And in my opinion, the answer would be yes, as long as the broker's aware of what's going on and et cetera. Then yeah, you want to start getting leads from that area. You want to start building that business, right? So use the system for that. The other thing is here, we have filtered leads by, and if you don't see this, by the way, that plus or minus means you can open that up and look at it a little better. Select the leads you would like to receive. So for example, I've had agents say, hey, I get nothing but rental leads, which I get a lot of those as well. I'll get maybe 10 of those in one where it's a property, somebody wants to see a property or whatever. And again, I get those so I can check the system, make sure it's working. I just decline it real quick. On the rental side, if you don't want to deal with that at all, you just uncheck that. That's all you do. I would recommend that personally, but I work with just about anything. Set a price range. And I've known agents that'll do that. I worked with an agent that wouldn't work with anything below $150,000, right? That was back in 2005-06 timeframe. If it wasn't 150,000, she wouldn't touch it. So you could actually set that up in here if you wanted to. Again, I would rather take it and hand it off to somebody else within the company than not get it at all, right? And be able to work with it. And the other thing you want to do is actually right down here at the bottom is make sure your phone number is in there. You want your phone number in there because when we were talking about notifications up here earlier, we talked about this text, right? You want to get notified by text. That's usually the easiest way for us. So we want that information in here so that we can get those leads. All right. And that's real quick on those. There was a couple other areas. That's the main thing. That's what I wanted to get across today, is make sure that we have that. That's what I said, just give me 30 minutes at most and we'll cover these. These are the main things that we need to take a look at. There's some other things that go with this that you can tie into that's pretty important. And right here where it says integration, let me back that up here a second. Let me go to systems. So you click on the settings page at the top, click on the settings page at the top and click on systems. And once you've done it and it's showing, like you can see where my cursor is right there, I'm over systems again, right? And it won't do nothing. And the reason for that is that page is already open right here. So all you do is close that at the top and you have that. Here's what that email was about a couple weeks ago on impersonation. Right there's where that's at. So we went to the settings pages. We went to systems and impersonation is right there. And if you check that box, that allows us to impersonate you, which means it allows us to go in and I can go in and do some of this stuff for you, like setting up the website, which doesn't take a whole lot to get that started. We need to get that in there and get it going. Here's a couple other things you have available to you on here. if you're really active on social media, I would absolutely use these. So again, this is underneath settings, pages, system, right? And then go to third-party scripts. You have Facebook chat plugin. So if you have a Facebook business page, you can activate this as a Facebook chat plugin. So when somebody goes to that Facebook page, this can actually pop up as a chat for them so that you can actually have that active. Sometimes if you set that up, sometimes I've dealt with a lot of businesses, as I'm sure some of you have, where that chat's not live except for certain hours. So if that's the case, make sure you set it up that way. But that's a great plus for you because it shows you're tech savvy, you're in there and you're doing what needs to be done. And there's some others on here, the Google Analytics and Facebook as well. These are both beneficial if you're going to use them to help promote yourself. All right, any other questions on this? Nope. All right, so one last one. On here, what I did was I went from, we had been on settings, and all I clicked on was website dashboard. For those of you that are here today, right here is the mobile app branding. And this is the one we've talked about in the past, where what I can do is I can plug in my number, just as an example, and I click text, and what's going to happen is I'm going to get the mobile app, the RE/MAX mobile app, at my phone number, and then I can share it from there. What it's designed, that's one way of trying to speed up the system. What it's designed for is that if I have a client I meet or a customer that's going to be a client, I can plug their information in here and send them a text, and what they're going to get is they're going to get a link to the RE/MAX mobile app, but it's going to be branded just to me. So I'll be able to see anything and everything they do on that site, which is, it personalizes it. It makes your connection with them a whole lot stronger, in my opinion. And these are some of the tools that we've been missing by not across the board, by not using them. We have agents going out buying things instead of using what they already have here. All right. Any other questions on this one? Nope. All right.